Welcome back to part 2 of me making a steak knife. In this video, I will show you how I finish making this steak knife. This serrated steak knife. Enjoy. Okay, I have my makeshift forge fired up right now. And I'm waiting for the knife to get heated up so that then I'll be able to quench it in some hardening oil. I'll see you when it's up to temperature and I'll be able to see if it's warped or not. And if it is warped, I'll have to flatten it out on my anvil. If it's not, then I'll be able to quench it into the oil. Let's get to it. Now I'm going to grind off all the scale on the knife that formed during the heat treat on the belt sander with the 120 grit sanding belt on it, and then also I'm going to sand it with some 120 grit sandpaper, but by hand. Now that I have the knife polished up, I also went ahead and took the round file and polished up all the grooves inside and resharpened all the teeth. Now I'm ready to make the handle, and I'm going to be making it out of this redwood. This wood, I bought it from my hardwood store. They didn't know what wood it was because when they got it shipped in, the name of the wood got rubbed off of the piece of wood, so they didn't know what it was, but they said that it's supposedly a really hard wood and it's really similar to Paduk, and they said that this may even be Paduk, but they can't be sure. And now I'm going to be cutting this piece of wood out to shape the handle from, and I'm going to be milling this down once I cut it out on the bandsaw. Now I'm going to cut out the shape of the knife handle itself. Now I can cut out the holes in the handles so that they're in the same spot as the holes on the knife blank, so that I can put the knife blank to temper into the oven, and so that while it's tempering I can work on the handles. Okay, I have a 7mm drill bit in the drill press right now, and since I'm going to be using these brass tubes for pen making, this is the perfect size drill bit for it. And yeah, let's get to it. I have all the holes drilled for the handle now. I have it dry fitted right now without the handle actually shaped out. And I think that this will be a really neat knife. So now I'm going to put the blade to temper into my oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to shape the handle with my belt sander and some files and rasps. I have the rough shape of the handle now, and all that I have to do now is just wait for the blade to finish tempering, and then I'm going to be able to epoxy this handle together and finish it up. I refined the handle a little bit more, and since all this wood is end grain, it's cutting very difficultly, so it's starting to burn, but all the burn marks will come out easily with some sanding. Now I'm just going to epoxy the handle together so that the two pieces of wood don't move around while I'm sanding them. Now that the handle is dry, I can start bringing it to its final shape on the belt sander, and just because I want this to be a little bit easier, I put on a new belt onto the belt sander. Now that I have the final shape of the handle shaped out using the belt sander, now I can start hand sanding it with some finer grits of sandpaper, but I'm not going to film this because this is going to be very boring. I'll get back to you when I'm ready to finish it with some nice oil. I have the handle nice and sanded now, and this is actually a really beautiful wood, especially since I made it go cross grain like this. Now I'm going to be finishing it with some boiled linseed oil. And now the knife is done. This knife actually turned out really nice, and I'm surprised that I managed to make a knife that looks this nice. I even took some time and ground in some finger slots so that when you're cutting, you have somewhere to hold it. And I'm not going to polish up the blade because I want to leave it at a rough, distressed look. And the pins, they also turned out very nice. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching me make this knife. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything else you would like me to build in future videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.